I'll start off with first saying that cancer is a complex ecosystem, both macro and micro. It's very, very complex. So if you don't try to understand the full ecosystem, we can never understand the disease process. To start with, the whole cancer care that we do, whatever field we are talking about, is actually patient centric. You're keeping the patient in the center and then moving through an entire gamut of players who are essential, and each player has a very important role to play, failing which we cannot actually work out anything. To start with, like I said, center patient, and then you have the government. Every government has to have a national cancer care policy, must have a national cancer care plan, which has to be dynamic because the society keeps changing very often. And as you just talked about, that one of the essential things is to know your numbers and your metrics. For that, have a good registry. So if you don't have a good registry, you cannot actually do good cancer care. So that's one thing that's very, very important that I think we should. Then come your commercial partners, and these are your people who develop your drugs, who develop your equipments, those who develop your caregiving systems, not caregivers, but the caregiving system. They're commercial players. And at the end, there has to be some method how that is taken care of. There is academia, knowledge base. The knowledge has to be created, research has to be done. So all this comes into play in that part. And then finally, you have the NGOs. Those NGOs may be working as non-profit, maybe working as for profit, but they have to be doing something to give the caregiver. And that's what I started. And we can start by saying that NGOs play an important role because they play the important role of advocacy. They play an important role in telling the government what may be required because they are more at the grassroots than most people are. And then, of course, comes the peer who pays the money, the insurer, the individual, the government, and finally is the provider.